right now, and that's why they're marching away from that government in their droves.
Jami-Lee Ross.
Mr. Speaker, after that speech, I think we're starting to see a new leadership contender emerge, because that was the most energetic speech I've seen all afternoon from the Labor Party. I have been waiting about half an hour for David Shearer to take the stand, have a go in the general debate, as he usually does. I actually enjoyed watching the Labor Party last week because it was the most sad, disappointed, heads buried in their desk, a performance from Labor MPs watching their leader that I've ever seen. And that's how you know that the Labor Party is looking for a leadership change. Mr. Speaker, during the question time, we had the three Davids on their feet. We had David Shearer trying his best, trying not to stutter 10 times throughout his questions, didn't quite succeed, trying to hold on to his job. Then we had David Parker asking some questions as well. David Parker, always the professor, the pointy-headed professor, doing his best with the numbers, but had to drop out last time, probably is doing so again this time round. And then we had David Cunliffe, the great messiah. He's growing a beard again. Have we all noticed that? What does that mean? What happened last time David Cunliffe grew a beard? It was leadership time. That's when he last grew a beard. David Cunliffe is growing a beard again, and I think David Shearer should be worried about that. But we had the three Davids on show, on performance, trying to show their colleagues what they're made of. And we've got the big conference this weekend coming up as well. Do you know what's interesting about this conference? What's interesting about this conference is that's when they start to adopt their new rules. These new leadership rules are when they start to have members having their say. So what are members of the Labor Party saying about their leader? Because they're about to give Labor Party members a bit of a say in their leadership. Here we go. There's a great website called The Standard, full of Labor Party members spouting their views. Here's one. David Shearer has simply shown time and again that he's not up for the job. He can't handle the stress, he can't think on his feet, and he doesn't have a solid set of beliefs to give him a firm footing when he stands up on issues. How about another one? I should have listened to Brian Edwards and to that little voice inside that was telling me Shearer was unsalvageable as talent. It's that ham-fistedness that has finally been the deal breaker for me. I just can't imagine how David Shearer could survive an election campaign. That's what Labor Party members are saying about their current leader. That's what Labor Party members who are saying that about their leader are about to have a say on. And Mr. Speaker, what about this Brian Edwards? What do we know of Brian Edwards? Because David Shearer likes to say that it's just bloggers talking to bloggers. I don't think Mr. Brian Edwards would consider himself a blogger. Brian Edwards happens to be the biographer for dear leader, for Auntie Helen, for Helen Clark. Brian Edwards was also the media manager, the person who did all the training. What does Brian Edwards say? Shearer is harming rather than helping Labor's cause, and so much so that he cannot continue to lead the party. And what else do we know about Brian Edwards and Helen Clark? Helen Clark is in the country at the moment. And they want to deny it, but I was there. I was in the dining room. I saw them walking through the dining room. I saw David Cunliffe come through, then Chris Hipkins and Jacinda Ardern pop their heads around the corner. They scuttled off again. But in comes Darian Fenton and Phil Twyford. Darian Fenton's one we should watch, because she's the union power broker at the moment. Darian Fenton is actually the union power broker. Andrew Little thinks it's him, but it's actually Darian Fenton. So these are the members of the Labor Party that David Cunliffe had trotting along to the little meeting. And Helen Clark was in the country too. We know what texts from New York are all about. It's about when the leadership comes around. Mr. Speaker, Jacinda Ardern wants to say that we're joking too much. And yeah, we're having a bit of fun at their expense, but they are about to change their leader. But I want to tell the House what's a real joke. Here is the Labor Party policy proposals for the weekend. This is scary stuff. This is no joke. These are the policy proposals that Labor is proposing on the weekend. A financial transactions tax. You know, if we can't earn more money through revenue, let's just tax people more. That's a hone heke tax, as Hone Harawira would probably say. A universal child benefit so millionaires can get paid for having kids. Well, I think that's something Kim.com would quite like too. 52 weeks paid parental leave, not content on costing us on costing us $500 million more in paid parental leave for 26 weeks. They want to move it to 52 weeks. They want to ban fracking. They want to ban seabed mining. They want to ban food in certain foods in schools. They want a mineral export tax. Mr. Speaker, that's not a joke. Mr. Speaker, they want to hurt New Zealanders more, lose more jobs. We're for growing jobs. We're for growing the economy, and that's why New Zealanders love the John Key government.
Sir William Sewell.
Mr. Speaker, so far the contribution by the government, I would say, is insulting to New Zealanders listening. It lacks empathy, it lacks understanding of the reality.